Hey everybody, what's going on? Hellmite here, bringing you another video from Grab the Lantern today. The patch notes for patch 7.4 have been posted, and that means it's time for another patch note rundown. As always, I'll be going through the most important changes of the patch to give you guys a better idea of what's strong, what's not, and what might be better to work with now. So, this patch actually has a few more changes than I thought. A lot of small things, but they amount to potentially large changes to shake up the meta. First, let's talk about Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath has received a bit of a rework recently in how his ultimate works. Feast no longer loses stacks upon death, and you can only get 5 stacks from minions and monsters. However, Feast can stack indefinitely, and will constantly grant you bonus health, though with diminishing returns as time goes on. Cho'Gath will now reach his maximum size at 10 stacks, and therefore the maximum attack range he can have, and it's going to be really cool. So, and Feast also gains bonus damage based on Cho'Gath's maximum health. So, the more Feast stacks you have, the higher damage Feast actually does. What this means is Cho'Gath, who is able to kill minions, or able to kill champions, sorry, I should say, means that he could potentially be the tankiest champion in the game. It'll be very difficult to take him down because you can't ever get rid of his Feast stacks. However, it also means that Cho'Gath will be a lot harder to reach his maximum size and maximum damage. Next up, Corki is getting nerfed. He's been pretty ubiquitous in the mid lane of late, just doing so much burst damage and so much poke damage, it makes it really difficult to deal with him. Accordingly, Riot have decided to nerf his ability to do high damage sustained poke with his rockets. Normal rockets now do significantly less damage, but big one rockets do a lot more damage than they used to do. What this means is that Corki will now have less ability to just poke teams out endlessly, but it also means that a good big one can change the tide of a fight. Corki's actually now also got a secondary resource bar underneath his first that counts down to when he's about to get a big one. So everyone knows, hey, Corki's got a big one, maybe we should back off. This should ease some of the frustration you get when facing against Corkis in the mid lane. Jhin is getting nerfed very slightly. Curtain Call's slow is reduced to 0.5 seconds from 0.75. Thank the Lord. Now, if you get hit by the first bullet, you're not guaranteed to eat the other 4 in short order. Maokai is another champion receiving nerfs. He's been very ubiquitous up in the top lane, a very solid champion, and part of this is because of his ability to endlessly wave clear. You could not shove Maokai under tower because he just kill all the minions. So Riot are nerfing his ability to wave clear, making it so that you can shove him under tower and actually do something about it. Arcane Smash is now going to cost more mana at later ranks, and the E no longer deals damage upon landing. So a little bit harder of a time for Maokai to wave clear, and it'll cost him a lot more mana to do so. Rise is another champion receiving nerfs. Again, a small nerf. E will now no longer grant as much bonus damage when Q hits a Flux target. It means that Rise needs to actually be diligent in applying Flux to enemies before hitting them with Q, as opposed to just kind of rapid firing every single button and doing tons of damage anyways. Next up, we've got a few changes to items. The Black Cleaver and Lord Dominic's Regards are the two biggest ones we're going to talk about here, because those two items in conjunction with each other basically made it so that your opponent couldn't have armor and couldn't tank you with health, so there wasn't really any way to defend yourself against champions with both of those items built. The Black Cleaver is ultimately becoming a less attractive item for squishies by swapping up the build path. It now builds from a Kindle Gem as opposed to a Caulfield's Warhammer. And what this means is that the people who normally buy it, Garen, Darius, other tanky frontliners, are still going to want the Black Cleaver, while squishies won't want the health, and it doesn't give as much AD, so it's just not as attractive anymore. Finally, Lord Dominic's Regards is going to grant less health, or less damage, the greater the difference in your health is. So it means that you're not going to do as much damage to tanky champions, and it means that health can be an effective gate to guard against them. The Last Whisper has also been changed. Last Whisper now grants more penetration, but less AD. And it's a little bit cheaper now too, so champions actually feel like it's a decent item to build if they're stacking armor without having to finish the entirety of Lord Dominic's. Finally, we have a few changes to masteries. Essentially, there's less damage across the board. You can go through and look at all the numbers yourself, but a lot of the masteries that are just giving random % damage give a lot less now. So it should tone down damage across the board and actually make tanks feel a little bit better about things. Warlord's Bloodlust is also going to be granting less lifesteal. It grants up to a maximum of 15% from 20%. And Fervor of Battle stacks now last 2 seconds longer, so a little bit more incentive to use Fervor as opposed to Warlords. And one last thing, Tower First Blood gives less gold locally and doesn't give any global gold. make it a little bit less of an attractive target, and hopefully the Clown Fiesta's bottom lane will stop forever. Anyways, that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what changes you think are going to be the most important in this patch. Go ahead and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and if you really enjoyed it, consider subscribing. I upload a video every Monday and Friday, and also on patch days. Once again, thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will talk to you all later.